Okay, let's dive into one of the most famous books of our time, Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. Now, on the surface, it looks like a pretty simple story, right? It's a fable about a shepherd boy who's chasing his dream. But trust me, once you peel back the layers, it's absolutely packed with these huge ideas about destiny, purpose, and, learning to listen to your own heart.
This right here, this single sentence, is pretty much the soul of the entire story. It's the big promise that keeps our hero moving forward. And really, it's the core idea the book wants us to chew on. This thought that maybe, just maybe, our deepest desires are woven into the fabric of the universe itself. So let's see how that plays out.
So our story kicks off in the rolling fields of Andalusia, Spain, and we meet this young shepherd who's living a pretty simple, comfortable life. But that's all about to get turned completely upside down because of a dream he just can't seem to shake.
So this is our guy, Santiago. He's a young man, and he chose to be a shepherd specifically because he loved the freedom to travel. He's pretty happy, He's got his flock, his books, but then this dream starts showing up, over and over. And here's the weird part. It only happens when he sleeps in this one very specific spot, the ruins of an old church, right under a big sycamore tree.
So what's this dream that keeps coming back? Well, in it, this mysterious child shows up, takes Santiago by the hand, and zaps him all the way to the great Egyptian pyramids. And once they're there, the child tells him, if you come here, you will find a hidden treasure. And that right there, that's the little spark that's going to ignite his whole adventure.
Look, having a dream is one thing, but actually acting on it, that's something else entirely. The moment this kind of vague idea becomes a real, honest-to-goodness mission is when Santiago has this chance encounter with a very strange and very wise old man.
So picture this. Santiago's just sitting in a town square, going back and forth in his head, when this old man comes up to him. He says his name is Melchizedek, the king of Salem. And this is clearly no ordinary dude. He somehow knows everything about Santiago. I mean everything, even the super specific details of his private dream. This is really the moment the story takes a hard turn into the magical.
And Melchizedek is the one who introduces Santiago to what is maybe the most important concept in the whole book, the personal legend. He explains that Santiago's dream isn't just some random fantasy. No, it's his true calling. It's his ultimate purpose in life, and he tells him that our number one job on this planet is to chase after that destiny.
So after this conversation, Santiago is convinced, and he makes this absolutely huge decision. He sells his entire flock of sheep. I mean, that's his job, his identity, everything he has, and he uses that money to get on a boat to Tangier, Africa. The quest has officially begun.
Now, you'd think, after taking a massive leap of faith like that, the universe would just kind of roll out the red carpet for him, right? Yeah, not so much. The path to your personal legend, it turns out, is never a straight line. And Santiago learns this lesson the hard way, like almost immediately. On his very first day in this strange new city, a thief pretends to be his friend, gets him to lower his guard, and then steals every single penny he has. Just like that. He's totally alone, he's broke, and he can't even speak the language. It is an absolutely crushing blow. He's completely defeated, so he takes a job working for a local crystal merchant, thinking his dream is totally over. But this is not a story about giving up. Over the next year, he actually thrives. He learns the local language, he learns about business, and he comes up with all these new ideas that make the shop super successful. He earns more than enough money to just go home and buy an even bigger flock of sheep. But something in him has changed. That dream is still there, and so he decides to risk it all again, to keep going.
All right, so he's back on the path. Santiago joins a caravan that's heading east across the massive Sahara Desert. And this part of the journey is less about physical survival and way more about learning a whole new kind of wisdom from the world itself.
He meets three really key people out here. First, there's the Englishman, a book-smart scholar who's all about learning through study. Then he meets Fatima, a woman from the oasis, and he falls completely in love. And finally, he meets the alchemist himself, this legendary, powerful guide who becomes his real teacher. The alchemist teaches Santiago about the book's other huge idea, the soul of the world. It's this concept that everything, from a grain of sand to the stars in the sky, is connected by one spiritual life force. And by learning to just listen, to read the omens in the sky,
to really open his heart, Santiago starts to understand this universal language.
So, as they get closer and closer to the pyramids, Santiago's whole journey builds up to this one epic climax. Everything he's learned about his personal legend, about the soul of the world, it's all about to be put to what seems like an absolutely impossible test. Things get serious. He and the Alchemist get captured by a tribe of desert warriors. And to save them, the Alchemist makes this wild claim. He tells the tribal leader that Santiago is so powerful he can actually turn himself into the wind. And he says, give us 3 days to prove it. If Santiago pulls it off, they go free. If he fails, well, they die. No pressure.
So how in the world does a shepherd boy become the wind? Well, he puts everything he's learned into practice. He uses his connection to the soul of the world. He has these conversations, first with the desert, then with the wind, then with the sun, and finally, he speaks to the ultimate power that created everything. By connecting with all of these things as one, he summons this massive sandstorm and just reappears on the other side of the camp. It's a miracle.
So after passing that insane final test, Santiago finally makes it. He is standing at the foot of the Egyptian pyramids, the exact place from his dream, and he's ready to find his treasure.
He digs exactly where his heart tells him to. He digs, and he finds nothing. Absolutely nothing. No chest, no gold. Just sand. And after everything he went through, you could just imagine the crushing feeling that maybe the dream was a lie all along.
And just when you think it can't possibly get any worse, it does. A group of thieves find him digging, they beat him half to death, and they steal the one piece of gold the alchemist had given him. He is left completely broken, with literally nothing to show for his entire journey.
But then, as the thieves are leaving, the leader turns back and starts making fun of Santiago. He says, "You're a fool. I had a recurring dream once too." But his dream told him there was a treasure buried back in Spain, in an old abandoned church, right under a big sycamore tree. The thief just laughs it off, saying he was never stupid enough to cross a desert for a dream.
And in that moment of total devastation, it all clicks into place for Santiago. He understands. The universe just gave him the final clue. The treasure was never in Egypt. It was waiting for him right where he started. So Santiago makes that long trip all the way back to Spain, back to that same ruined church. He digs under that same sycamore tree, and sure enough, he finds a chest just overflowing with gold and jewels. See, he had to go all the way to Egypt just to find out where the treasure really was. The journey itself was the point. It didn't just lead him to the gold, it turned him into the person who is actually worthy of it.
So Santiago's story comes full circle, and it kind of proves that sometimes you have to go really far away to finally understand what you had at home the whole time. The book leaves us with a really powerful question, so I'm going to leave you with the same one. What's your dream? What's your personal legend? And how far are you willing to go to find it?